Hey fellow Force users, what is up? It's Jasmine, the Ahsoka Tano fan. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So guys, it is time for another episode of The Mandalorian. I am personally not over last Wednesday still, particularly the Bad Batch episode. For those of you who watch the Bad Batch, you know what I'm talking about. It's just gut-wrenching. I've been thinking about that all week, to be honest. It was definitely a powerful finale and a powerful ending to the second season. So yeah guys, the Bad Batch is a wrap. As far as The Mandalorian, we still have a few more episodes to go until the finale. But anyway, so last episode of The Mandalorian gave us definitely a lot more action. We saw the return of the pirates and the pirate leader Gorian Shard. It looks like he died in the explosion towards the end and went down with the ship, but the rule in Star Wars, as is the case with many shows, if you don't see a body, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're dead for sure. So he definitely could have potentially survived, but I don't know if he did survive, if that will be something that's revealed to us by the end of this season or perhaps the next season. But we got to see the Mandalorians work together to fight against the pirates and liberate Navarro, and now Greef Karga has basically offered them their own land, which is really powerful. They're definitely making a name for themselves and establishing themselves as heroes and liberators. It was nice that he offered that to them, although I guess that's the least he could have done given the fact that they literally saved him. He did say that you may no longer have a home planet, but you now have a home, which I thought was powerful. So we're gonna see them start over, presumably on Navarro now, and Bo-Katan is gonna be the one, as the armorer stated, to unite all Mandalorians, or all of Mandalore. So it looks like she's gonna go off and do that and bring some Mandalorians from exile back to this tribe. Up until now, Din and Grogu have been the main characters, but it has seemed lately that Bo-Katan is becoming more and more of a main character. When you think about it, the name of the show is not Din Djarin, it's The Mandalorian, and Bo-Katan is also Mandalorian. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they're setting her up to be the Mandalorian, kind of like the chosen one to unite all Mandalorians, right? If that's the case, that's definitely a good direction for her character, and I think it's been long in the making. Last episode, we also had quite a bit of a reveal by the end there. It looks like Moff Gideon has in fact escaped and never actually made it to court. It looked like he not only escaped, but rather he was actually extracted. But they found a piece of Beskar on that prison transport and no body of Moff Gideon. So it definitely looks like Mandalorians or someone Mandalorian broke Moff Gideon out. It could be someone who is Mandalorian, that's maybe a traitor, or it could be somebody trying to set the Mandalorians up, make it seem like they're the ones involved in order to turn the New Republic against the Mandalorians, potentially. Either way, I'm curious to see what Carson Teva is gonna do with that information. Is he gonna ask Mando what happened, if he knows anything about it, or is he gonna turn against them and just assume they're involved? I don't know, but either way, that's definitely a mystery now. That's something in the storyline we're gonna have to ask ourselves and find out, which is who was responsible for breaking Moff Gideon out of that transport. I still think Elia Kane had something to do with it for sure. I think that she is secretly still working for him. The story is definitely getting more interesting now, and with only a couple episodes left till the finale, I'm curious to see how they're gonna wrap it up for this season. I don't want to speculate too much, guys. Let's blast our way into the next episode, guys, and check out what's in store for us. I remember this. This is when they first met.
Thank you.
Wow, I guess we're gonna see them maybe. This episode's definitely gonna be about the Darksaber because we're seeing it a lot in the recap.
She can bring all tribes together. It is time to retake Mandalore.
Yep. They're setting her up to be the new Mandalorian, 100%. Okay, the only thing that bothers me though is that she hasn't mentioned Satine on the show. It'd be nice if she did. Again, it'd just be another way of letting the live action audience know of another character that we've seen only in animation. And because she was her sister, she played such an important role. You know, it would be kind of nice to have her mention her somehow. We'll see. Whose ship is this? Oh, isn't this the Quarren? Their species? Who's the leader gonna be? She's got her own, like, Bacta tank. It's kind of cool. Yeah, they are Quarren. She knows the right things to say. Okay, who's on this ship? Oh! Mandalorians! Those are Bo-Katan's people.
And sadly, you're too late to hire.
And Koska Reeves. I forget this guy's name though. So what are they doing though? Oh, Axe, that's his name.
You see, we were already hired by a certain Mon Calamari viceroy who has reason to believe absconded with her son.
Oh, yeah, because the corn and the calamari have beef, basically. I remember that from the Clone Wars.
I know it was for love.
I won't go. We love each other.
Sure.
We've got a contract waiting for us on Plaisir 15.
You have to go with them. No, I love you.
It's an interesting love story.
Is that all this was to you?
Damn.
I love you, and I will always love you.
I was gonna say, how did they kiss?
Come with us, Prince.
Wait,
It's a long ride home.
that's not
Oh, Mandalorian.
Prince Lee Char, is it? Could it? Wait, is that Prince Lee Char from the Clone Wars? Because she just called him Prince. Maybe not. Okay, so this is Bo-Katan here, right? Yes, it is. Oh, good. Mando's with her.
That's quite a fleet.
It took me a long time to assemble it. Axe Woves is their leader now. It's going to take some convincing to get them to join us.
Damn. She really lost everything.
You will be guided on the assigned path.
They've taken control of the ship. We're going for a ride.
Grogu likes that.
Welcome to Plaisir 15. Please proceed to your hyperloop.
It's a nice planet, though.
Why do they have Imperial droids on an independent world?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Well, at least they didn't take their weapons from them.
Din Djarin and Bo-Katan Kryze. Your presence has been requested by the leadership of the planetary democracy.
Oh, great.
You think we're gonna have to blast our way out of here?
We'll find out.
He looks like he's gonna be sick. Why does it remind me of Thor Ragnarok almost? Just the visuals.
Everyone, special
And this guy too.
Mandalorians.
Wait, is that Lizzo?
Sit. Come, please.
Wait, am I tripping? That's Lizzo, right?
Let's address the
Oh, that's the frog lady, or her species. I could be tripping, but I think that's Lizzo. I'm gonna have to Google that after.
Azir suffered greatly under Imperial rule. My husband came here as part of his rehabilitation.
That looks like her.
Could I perhaps hold the baby, please?
How can you say no to that? Oh my god, look. He saw the food and then literally took the bait. Look how fast he jumped.
There's just one condition.
What?
I think that guy is from School of Rock too, isn't he?
You must see the view.
Jack Black, right? Isn't that him? Lots of surprise cameos.
Good problem.
What kind of droid problem?
Malfunction.
I mean, nothing too serious at first.
Then it got worse.
Traffic accident, heavy equipment failures leading to injury.
Our charter forbids any standing army from entering our city. Our constables aren't even allowed to carry blasters.
You want us to eliminate your droid problem?
Exactly. The mercenary captain, Axe Woves, indicated that he split from you because you had designs on ruling Mandalore.
Those plans have been abandoned. What do you think?
You had me at battle droids.
Oh my god! It's Christopher Lloyd! Doc Brown from Back to the Future.
One day, an isolated event.
This episode is full of cameos, eh? Oh my gosh. Oh man.
Why not turn them all off?
Failsafe cut-off switch built into the system. The citizens are no longer required to work. If we shut down the droids, our citizens wouldn't know how to survive.
See what happens when you rely on droids.
Are you taking this personally? Let's just finish this so we can be on our way.
You know it's not gonna be that easy.
I am Bo-Katan Kryze.
No one's gonna listen. Yep, knew it.
We were sent on behalf of the Duchess.
So rude, man. What you gonna have to do? Fire a blaster to get your attention?
I am Mandalorian Din Djarin, friend of Ugnaughts.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say, isn't that Quill's people? The guy who always said,
Help us with our task.
I spoken?
Spoken.
Yeah.
We were engaged to hunt down and eliminate the malfunctioning droids.
There are no such droids.
What if there's a twist and the droids aren't?
I assure you, the droids are not malfunctioning.
Oh, so maybe they're causing the malfunctions themselves to try and get decommissioned. All the droids.
The stories of Ugnaughts' skill with smithing droids are legendary. We will investigate the dangerous incidents. We would appreciate your help.
What are they about to show them?
Of the droids you seek.
Thank you. I have spoken.
I have spoken. This is the way.
They've indicated that there's a likelihood that the next event will be at the loading docks.
Well, it's the only lead we've got, so we might as well have a look around.
I'd like for us to have those kinds of shuttles. Be able to get around quickly.
I haven't seen battle droids since the Clone Wars.
The Clone Wars!
Any of them look suspicious?
They all look suspicious.
Oh, this is a restricted area.
Oh my gosh, I wonder if that's Matthew Wood voicing him.
Show me your identification, please.
I bet you it is. These guys were amazing in the Clone Wars, man.
Their base function was warfare.
I thought they were.
They were funnier in the Clone Wars than they were in the movies.
Then this shouldn't faze them.
Sir? Excuse me.
Oh, he's trying to find out which ones are malfunctioning. That's one of them. Where's Grogu right now?
Recertified, huh?
You should have left them alone.
Am I tripping or Grogu is missing right now? Or maybe they left him with the Duchess? Oh, crap. This almost reminds me of how our society is going to be in the future. So reliant on technology that we're not going to know how to survive without it. We're kind of already there. Oh, man. Oh, nice. Oh, great teamwork, guys.
Thank you for standing back.
Oh, the virtual yellow tape. I feel like there's something else going on.
The resistor.
Sounds like a droid bar.
Like maybe somebody's causing these droids to malfunction so that they can push some sort of agenda or bill. I don't know.
You kicking droids is really not helpful.
I figured out which one was malfunctioning, didn't I?
I do like the two of them as a team. Is this literally a bunch of droids getting drunk right now?
I don't think they get many of our kind here.
That spark pad was found on a rogue battle droid.
We give out lots of smart hands. Very malfunctioning.
If you don't start answering questions, I'll yank your memory circuit and dissect it back at the lab.
Damn, Mando.
Nobody leaves.
A word.
The bounty hunter in him is coming out again.
Time you can't reason with droids.
I want to help.
You want me to pull your hearing sensors too?
Oh my gosh.
You'll be what?
Decommissioned.
Customers that we will be replaced.
By what?
Humans. The New Republic would send them to scrap. But here on Plaisir, they are given a second chance. We don't want to be replaced. We still have a lot to contribute.
That's interesting. Droids don't want to be replaced by humans. Usually in shows, it's the other way around. Humans don't want to be replaced by droids.
Here, droids are sent Nepenthe.
His fingers move fast.
The malfunctioning droids all imbibed from the same batch of Nepenthe.
These are the remains of the latest malfunctioning droid. The particles are definitely present.
What are the chances that they're still active?
Oh, crap. I would say the chance is high. Whoa. That's one way to do it.
They're still active.
They're actually nano-droids.
Nano-droids. That was, in the Clone Wars too. The girl Leia Turman, I think was her name. She was accused of using nano-droids.
They were originally manufactured by the Techno Union for ages.
That's the Separatist?
They were requisitioned by the security office. It's illegal. There's no record of this transaction on the government registry. These droids were ordered by an individual.
Oh.
Helgate.
Oh my gosh, Christopher Lloyd. Doc Brown. So it is an inside job then.
We know about the Nepenthe and the nano-droids.
You programmed them to disrupt an attack.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone freeze! If I trigger this failsafe, it will convert the planet's docile workforce back into battle droids.
Mando will just shoot you.
I didn't give up to the corrupt Republic to the Empire, and I won't give up to you. Count Dooku was a vision.
That's cool. Count Dooku name drop.
By the Jedi and forces.
Good girl. I was kind of interested in what he had to say, though.
Politics.
She never was a fan of politics. Yeah, there he is. Okay, they left him with her. Oh, is Grogu helping her? He did. I wonder if she knows.
We found the cause of your malfunctions.
This is true?
Despicable. If that isn't the Quacta calling the stifling slimy, I'd beat you.
That's like the pot calling the kettle black. I'm pretty sure Bane used that phrase too, didn't he, in Book of Boba Fett?
If that's not the Quacta calling the stifling slimy. Well, if that isn't the Quacta calling the stifling slimy.
Is there no room for a little bit of forgiveness in a galaxy so vast?
Wait, is she about to forgive him right now?
Perhaps someday I can earn such forgiveness.
As for now, you must live in exile on the moon of Paraquat.
Is no one gonna escort him? Or the droids.
I grant you audience with our deployment of Mandalorian privateer, the key to Plazier.
They're getting more and more connections and more land too, right? Navarro, now Plazier.
And to this little one, I grant knighthood.
Oh my god.
You are now a knight of the ancient order.
He has no idea what's going on.
Milady.
Time to go back home to daddy.
You're their leader.
I'm not their leader anymore. Axe Wolves is.
Who's this Axe guy? Bo-Katan, go get your people, man. Oh boy, how's this meeting gonna go? It's not gonna be easy.
I've come to reclaim my fleet.
It's no longer your fleet, is it?
She's gonna end up having to kill this guy, isn't she? I shouldn't think so dark. Maybe she'll be able to reason with him.
I challenge you.
Oh.
Do you accept my challenge?
Is this a fight to the death like Pre-Vizsla and Maul?
I do.
Oh crap, so she is gonna have to kill him. Oh man. Come on, Bo-Katan! Oh my god, I'm actually so nervous right now. But Bo-Katan can't die though. Oh crap. Who does this guy think he is, man? Come on, Bo, no! Even Grogu's nervous. Oh man. Is she gonna kill him though, or just defeat him? Oh! Come on, get him, Bo, get him! If you don't yield, she will kill you, man.
You won't even take the dark saber from him.
Enough Mandalorian blood has been spilled by your own hands.
She's the leader, man. By the rules.
Mandalorians are stronger together.
A misguided zealot possesses the blade.
He is every bit the Mandalorian that they were.
That we are.
Certainly as much as any of us.
Yep.
The ruler of Mandalore must possess the dark saber.
Then she shall have it.
But it has to be won in combat, right? Is he gonna give it to her right now just like Sabine gave it to her?
It's not a gift to be given, no matter how well intended.
But she did just win a combat. It wasn't against him. So maybe they could argue that combat is how she won the Darksaber.
This blade was taken from me. Bo-Katan rescued me and slayed my captor.
Ooh, that part's true.
She defeated the enemy that defeated me. Would this blade then not belong to her?
I never thought of it like that. I'm not gonna lie. They're thinking about it.
It would.
Wait, does that make sense though? The enemy that defeated him, she defeated the enemy. Oh, okay, I guess that could make sense. Whoa. She gonna ignite it? Just ignite it for the camera shot and my backdrop. No, that'd be kind of too much of a spoiler for a backdrop for me to use. Oh, whoa, okay. Interesting. Okay. So first of all, that ending scene, I guess we can talk about that first. That's something I think that's really been in the making for a long time, Bo-Katan eventually acquiring the Darksaber. And because it just happened, I'm still kind of processing it. I don't know. I guess it kind of makes sense that she'd be the rightful owner of it because of how Mando explained it. She defeated the enemy who defeated him, and he didn't even have the Darksaber. So basically, if it weren't for her, that Darksaber would have been lost because she rescued him, a fellow Mandalorian, and got the saber. Yeah, I guess it'd be rightfully hers. I mean, the Mandalorians have so many different rules and they have creeds and whatnot. It does seem like Bo-Katan does deserve to be in that leader type role. I mean, at this point, she's done so many selfless things. First of all, by rescuing Din in the first place, then by wielding the Darksaber to rescue him. Then she bathed in the living waters. She lost everything and joined his tribe. She rescued a foundling, and now she has been sent by the Armorer essentially to bring other Mandalorians back to the tribe to unite them all. So it seems like she is the one person that can do that because, as the Armorer stated, she walks both worlds, right? Even look in that shot visually, you have Mando on one side, you have the other Mandalorians on the other, and you have Bo-Katan in the middle. Even I think the Armorer is not able to have that kind of role because she's definitely a leader for her own tribe, but how can she communicate to other tribes in the way that Bo-Katan did in this episode? And they weren't making it easy for her. They were definitely calling Din a zealot and whatnot, and she was one that was able to make them see his perspective and to make him see their perspective. So yeah, anyways, that was definitely a powerful ending, I would say, and I like that ending shot there of her holding the Darksaber. And we got to see them fight to the death, essentially, sort of, even though she didn't end up killing him. We know what happened during the fight to the death between Maul and Vizsla. That one obviously was fatal. Spoiler if you guys haven't watched the Clone Wars, but you really should have by now. Obviously, it led to the death of Pre Vizsla. That's what gave Maul a claim to Mandalore in the first place. Obviously, Bo-Katan didn't accept that, so she broke off into her own faction, and then you had a group of Mandalorians that were under Bo-Katan, a group that were under Maul. And then we see them come to a head, obviously, in the Clone Wars final arc, season 7, when Ahsoka helps Bo-Katan retake Mandalore from Maul. So you see that kind of fight to the death happen again, but in this case, Bo-Katan doesn't kill him. And it kind of does raise the question, actually, if it were the other way around and he was the one who defeated her, would he have given her that opportunity to yield in that way, or would he have killed her? It does show what kind of leader Bo-Katan is and what she can be. She doesn't look at killing, I guess, as the only option anymore. She sees a purpose beyond that. It's more important to her that all Mandalorians stick together, which is the big change from how her character used to be in the Clone Wars, because she used to be able to kill no problem, right? She was definitely more of a villain, but now we see her being more of a leader and more of a unifier. Her character is definitely taking a really good turn, I think, and having a good story arc overall. Now let's talk about the rest of the episode. We got to see a couple things. At the beginning of the episode, we got to see the Corran and Mon Calamari. And if you recall from the Clone Wars, they definitely did have a bit of a feud, but ended up kind of working together in season 4 when they had that war. They had to fight against the Separatists, and you had the Prince Lichar. I actually have to double check that. I don't know if that was the same Prince Lichar actually from the Clone Wars. Casca, I think it was, called him Prince. We saw them in the beginning, and it looks like there was some type of love story going on there that was disrupted obviously by the Mandalorians because they were hired to bring the prince back to his family. So I think that was kind of cool to see. Looking back at it though, it felt maybe a little bit disjointed from the rest of the episode, because I guess the point of it was just to show mainly Axe Wolves and the Mandalorians under him were kind of taking on the role of mercenaries now, just going where they're wanted and where they were hired, and that was one of the jobs they had. So I guess that was just to show us the new role that they had taken. We got to see some cool cameos with Lizzo, Jack Black, and Christopher Lloyd, which was kind of cool and definitely unexpected. And it got to show us basically the danger, I think, of being so dependent on technology. And it reminded me a lot of our world, actually. The way that Christopher Lloyd's character, I think it was Commissioner Hellgate or something, he talked about how society would not be able to survive without these droids because they become so dependent on them. It's kind of almost like a Black Mirror type episode in that way, which is ironic because I believe this one was directed by Bryce Dallas Howard, and she starred in one of the episodes of Black Mirror. You could argue from this episode that Plazir could play an important role going forward. It's one of those independent planets, again, that seems to be thriving, that has a mix of Republic and Imperial technology. And that's the cool thing about seeing the droids this episode, is it showed you a mixture of multiple worlds. You saw the Imperial droids, you also saw battle droids that were seen in the Clone Wars, That was pretty cool, actually. I'm pretty sure Matthew Wood was the voice again behind the battle droids as he was in the Clone Wars. I'm gonna have to look that up after. But that was kind of cool. It's almost like a walk down memory lane. Here are all these droids that served in wars and organizations before them who are now kind of all gathering on this planet trying to figure out lives of their own. You know, it definitely was an episode that humanized the droids a bit, especially when that droid talked about not wanting to be replaced by humans, which is ironic because normally in these shows, it's the humans who are concerned with being replaced by droids. But we actually found out later that it was Christopher Lloyd's character who was behind the malfunctioning after all. And we kind of were suspecting that a little bit. In my reaction, I said a couple times, I thought it might have been an inside job of some sort. I'm still actually not 100% clear what his goal was in that. Maybe he was just trying to show society the dangers of droids. Maybe he wanted them decommissioned after a certain amount of time and actually force people to go back to work and learn to survive in that kind of world. And actually you could draw a parallel to the clones as well. The same way that people in this episode were becoming fearful of all droids because of the couple rogue ones. It's similar to how in the Bad Batch, the Emperor was trying to paint the clones in a bad light to justify their decommissioning and so that he can bring in the stormtroopers. So it's kind of almost a similar situation, you could argue. I also think it was so cool that we got a Count Dooku name drop this episode. I love when these Star Wars shows can relate to the greater Star Wars franchise as well and mention other characters even if they're not in the show. So to hear someone like Hellgate mention him was a pretty big deal. And he also mentioned that he didn't serve the Republic and he didn't serve the Empire and he's not going to back down to them either. That's kind of an eye-opener as well. Just kind of shows that there are a lot of complex characters out there. It's not, again, so black and white. The Republic is good, the Empire is bad and whatnot. There's a lot of people that don't believe in either organization and they kind of walk their own path. We also heard mention of the Nano-droids, which was brought up in the Clone Wars as well. And that's how he was basically able to control these few rogue droids and make them act in the way that they did. I love seeing Bo-Katan and Mando as a duo this episode as well. The two of them working together is just golden. I think they really make quite the pair. And they have different ways of doing things. Bo-Katan seems to be more of the negotiator, which I think she definitely got from her sister, Satine. I mentioned in the beginning of my video, but I really would like to hear some mention of Satine. It'd be nice in some way, even if she just brings it up in a scene or something. But she's the more of the negotiator and Mando seems to be more of the blunt one. You definitely saw his bounty hunting side come out a little bit this episode. You saw they met with the Ugnaughts again as well. Last time we saw them was Quill in season 1 or 2. I think it was 1 actually. I think he died in 1 actually. Mando knew how to negotiate with them because of his experience with Quill. So that was kind of cool. I feel like we got a lot of cool visuals this episode. The only thing I guess I'll say, I don't want to sound too critical, it's just that, you know, we are getting close to the finale now. I think there's only a couple more episodes to go. And I do find that much of this episode kind of felt like a side episode. I feel like the meat of the episode actually happened at the end when Bo-Katan acquired the Darksaber. And I am glad that they showed that to us, but I have noticed that this season especially, they seem to be doing that a lot. There may be a main goal and focus, but then a bunch of side things happen that kind of end up taking up most of the episode and the main thing happens by the end. I kind of wonder how it would have been if the main focus was just between Bo-Katan and this tribe of Mandalorians. Like they definitely could have maybe spent most of the time on that, maybe her spending time with them and talking and maybe having a tough time getting through to them, and then eventually after tension building between Bo-Katan and Axe, then at the end they have a duel. I think I might have preferred to still see that. It was definitely cool what they gave us, don't get me wrong, but it just felt a little bit like, again, a side episode, and they felt like not the most connected to one another, because the episode starts off with this kind of love story between the Quarren and the Mon Calamari. That story just dropped. Then it's Bo-Katan and Mando meeting Lizzo and Jack Black, and then they're chasing after all these droids, and then they go back to meet the Mandalorians, and there's a fight for the Darksaber. It kind of felt like all those things weren't really connected, so to speak. Like they almost could have been in different episodes, if that makes sense. I don't know. Maybe that's just my feeling anyway. And what I'll say too, as cool as it was to see the cameos this episode by Lizzo and Jack Black and Christopher Lloyd, I think Christopher Lloyd's character definitely had a role to play because he ended up being behind the whole droid situation. But I feel like in a way it's kind of meant to distract us from the greater plot. It almost feels like well, because all these people are in the episode, you know, look, this episode gives us so much, but there's still a big plot that needs to be moved forward here. It doesn't matter, you can have so many cool cameos, but you still can't forget about the main overall story. And I do find that sometimes shows like this will try and distract us with cameos and will take away from the greater purpose of the overall storyline, if that makes sense. It's cool to have cameos, but again, it's gonna push the storyline further in some way. From The Mandalorian, I would much rather big cameos from other Star Wars characters like Ahsoka, like Zeb, characters like that from the Star Wars franchise versus using well-known celebrities. We've had other episodes from The Mandalorian that are very dark, that are about the Empire and about cloning and whatnot, wars, and then you kind of have an episode with all these celebrity cameos and then Grogu being knighted. It definitely made parts of the episode feel a little bit more like a parody. You know, the knighting is not going to take his character anywhere further, you know what I mean? It's not like the conversation between Bo-Katan and the armorer where she had her remove her helmet. That's leading to a greater purpose, which is her being that chosen one to unite all the Mandalorians, you know? I do worry about what the future holds for Grogu and Din. It does seem like the spotlight is shifting towards Bo-Katan now, which is fine as long as they have a plan for Grogu and Din too. You can't just put them on the back burner then not really do much with them. Grogu's adorable, obviously, and I love the two of them together. But I definitely see that they're kind of trying to just almost turn up the cuteness. You see Peli loves Grogu and she always wants to hold him. And in this episode, Lizzo wanted to hold him and was playing with him. And how much, I guess, can you just rely on his cuteness, right? Like there definitely has to be more going forward, I think, if he is going to be an important character in the show and in the storyline. I think I wouldn't be as particular if we weren't, again, so close to the finale. We only have 2 more episodes to go. So I really kind of want them to pick it up now and start to tie these storylines together. Because as of this point, we've had the storyline with Mando bathing in the living waters. And out of that, he and Bo-Katan got closer and she saw the mythosaur. That's great. We saw Bo-Katan then get introduced to the tribe, which is good. We saw the whole pirate thing on Navarro. Now they have Navarro as a base. Now the other story going on is with Elia Kane and what's her deal with the doctor. And then now we found out that Moff Gideon escaped and there was Beskar found. Now we have this episode about these droids and then Bo-Katan winning the Darksaber. It just seems like there's multiple storylines and, you know, kind of all over the place, and I'm kind of looking for them to now converge it into one, if that makes sense, because we are so close to the finale. I don't mean to sound negative. I think it was still a great episode and what it showed us, and it was definitely entertaining and had a lot of action. And again, the visuals were amazing as well, but it is The Mandalorian, so I do have a little bit high expectations. Part of my reaction and reviews is also that I like to be honest as well with how I find the episodes. Some episodes I will like more than others. We'll see what happens the next 2 weeks. We still have a couple more episodes to go. You guys let me know down below in the comments, as always, what you thought of the episode. Do you kind of agree with what I'm saying, or do you think I'm tripping and you love the episode and you like the direction the season's going? Let me know. And as always, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you next week for an all new episode of The Mandalorian. Until next time, guys, take care and see you soon.